Hello, my name is Kevin Johnson. I'm a senior chiropractic intern here at Life Chiropractic College West, and I'm here today to talk to you about autism. So first off, who am I? I am from Southern California. I was not born there. I was born in Harvey, Illinois, and moved out to Southern California when I was 3 with my family. They moved out here for work, and obviously being 3 years old, I had to come with them. Sports have been my life. I played baseball for 14 years and soccer coming up on 21 years this year. Sports has always been there for me. Also, I love dogs. I have a white Siberian Husky, and she's my baby. I've had her since day one, and I even had to bottle feed her. So it's a little bit about me. And what am I doing here today? I'm here to talk to you about special needs children and why chiropractic care is important to them, just as it is important to you. I'm not going to focus on all the different spectrums of special needs children. I am going to just focus on autism. This is where my journey started. I was volunteering every summer in special ed department at my mom's school where she worked. And I would go in every summer and I would volunteer and I would work with the special needs children. And I'd always find myself around a certain group of individuals, and I was always wondering who they are and what they had, because it was interesting that this certain group would always come to me, and that certain group was actually autism. I did deal with Down syndrome a lot, and then a lot of the other spectrums that we do have, but autism was the main one that actually focused onto me. And why does it matter? It's very important to me. Like, these kids are very misunderstood, and they have a really difficult time in life. Just because they are misunderstood and all this stuff, it's not like, oh, they're misbehaving because of this, because of that. It's like, no, they don't know how to act in public. And I think it's just people need to be more patient with them. My senior year in my undergrad, I actually was sitting in class one day with my best friend, and we were sitting there talking. I was like, I want to get a tattoo, and what's something that's very meaningful to me? And the first thing that came to mind was autism. So I did actually get the autism awareness puzzle piece tattooed on my body. Like I said, I was volunteering my summers working with special needs children. So first off, what is autism? And according to Autism Speaks organization, autism or autism spectrum disorder refers to a range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech, and nonverbal communication, as well as by unique strengths and differences. We now know that there is not one autism, but many types, caused by different combinations of genetic and environmental influences. So this is saying there is a big spectrum of what autism could be, like it's from genetics or it can be environmental. There is still a lot of research being done on trying to figure out the more realm of everything for it. And like the special, like they can have their strengths, so they can be really good at math, they can be really big at drawing. Each individual does have their special, unique strength they do have, but it's just being able to find that to allow them to express it more is what is really good to try and find out. So what is the problem? There is research being done. Like I said, there are many studies being done on autism every year, but they still don't know the exact cause of what is causing autism to take place. You can have vaccines. There is a big dispute on that, but I'm not here today to talk about the vaccines and autism. So like I said, not a lot is known. There still is research being done every day. There is environmental issues, and they actually do think a lot of the environmental issues are stomach issues that are causing a lot of the inflammation. So that this also makes you pay attention to the patient. They may be presenting a lot with their stomachs over their hands over their stomach and hunched over. It could be because their stomach's actually inflamed, but them not having the verbal communication, you're not sure if it's just like the way they are because their stomach hurts, or if that's how they're sitting because it's more comfortable. You don't know. So you have to pay attention to the individual a lot more. And being patient with them. They can't vocalize what they're feeling, so you have to pay attention, like I said. And it can get frustrating, but the more you get frustrated, the more frustrated they're going to get, and it's going to be harder to communicate with them. So here are some facts from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. Estimates autism prevalence as in 1 in 68 children in the United States. This includes 1 in 42 boys and 1 in 189 girls. And estimated 50,000 teens with autism become adults and lose their school-based autism services each year. Around 1/3 of the people with autism remain nonverbal. Around 1/3 of the people with autism have an intellectual disability. And certain medical and mental health issues frequently accompany autism. They include GI disorders, seizures, sleep disturbances, attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder, and anxiety and phobias. So what is being done right now? They are put on medications, and a lot of stuff is just treated based on symptoms and trying to keep them calm and keep them out of this very stressful environment. There are more studies and research being done every day. And you can also do dietary supplementation. So omega-3s are really good for them. And there's a lot of other ones that they do prescribe, and they do say that they should take regularly to keep them more calm and more, not sedated, but more of a relaxed state all the time. So what's my solution? What will each visit be like? That's a mystery to everyone. Each person has their own individual personality, and same with these children. They can have really great days, or they can have really bad days, and all depending on what their mood is and how you interact with them. And the biggest thing, like you do have with the autism word, we do have ask questions, understand, tell a friend, include, show your support, and make a difference. Including him is the biggest thing. I actually did talk to an individual whose son was autistic, and he told me the best thing he did for his son was to get him involved in sports. Even though his son was a little more off on the side doing his own thing most of the time, but he still had that environment, and he was still treated just like any other person, not someone who was autistic. So it was really great to hear that from him. So I'm going to adjust the patient, and doing that is going to remove interference from the spine. There's a disconnect taking place somewhere in the spine that's related to the brain that may be causing a lot of these issues. I'm not here to say that I'm going to cure autism. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm going to say I can help improve their quality of life. And like I said, I'll work with the nervous system. It'll be through adjusting spinal column and to remove the interference, and also dietary changes to remove the inflammation that can be taking place in their guts. Can it work? There was a story that a doc actually came to our school. She presented to us, and she was talking about how she adjusted children, and she was working with a child who was autistic, and she adjusted the patient, and the mother came and called the next day and said, "I don't know what you did to my son, but he talked for the first time. He had his very first word. And that first word took place at the dinner table, and he said, 'pickle.'" So it was pretty interesting that this little boy's first word was pickle, but he was able to start talking. And then here is a video I'm going to show you about a mother whose son is actually under chiropractic care in San Diego. So as you can see in that video, the little boy, he did have these little tics that you would call them, but his mother did report that he's able to make more eye contact, actually communicate a lot better with his mother. And it's not just gratifying to the patient, it's actually gratifying toward the family as well, because they deal with this on a daily basis, and it can be really difficult. So to see this improvement is it's a really great thing to see that these children are able to get a little bit better and they're more able to interact and be involved in the family. And thank you for your time today. I appreciate it all. Have a great day.